fast forward to high school, for me, is when I started DJing sophomore year.
Right.
Because I was listening to a lot of hip hop and,
Yep.
pretty much almost, anything that came out. NWA, I was listening to, what else?
Tribe.
What's that?
Tribe Called Quest was definitely on my
That Tribe Called Quest. I mean,
DJ Quick. I used to love DJ Quick because he used to play the instruments.
and a lot of East Coast stuff too, because at that time, especially in the early '90s, there was a lot of hip hop coming out of the East Coast.
Yeah,
For the
that's
most,
why Ice Cube's records were all East Coast producers, right?
well, Ice Cube only did the first couple of
The first two.
recorded in the East Coast, but his
Yeah.
producer, some of his production was mixed. He had certain some, and then he had the Bomb Squad, who was
Right.
I think they were East Coast. They did a lot of his production early on.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then so what
You
happened?
basically got it started though with the DJing, right?
Yeah,
Like that's.
picked it off.
Yep.
I started DJing, and then at some point I went to the studio with somebody. I won't name that person, but we went to the studio, and I actually saw how hip hop was made, how to take a sample and loop it, because that was the thing I could never figure out. Like, how do they get the sound? How do they repeat the sound? I knew records were sampled, but I never understood the technicality behind it until I actually saw it myself. I knew what MIDI. I knew how to do MIDI at that point because Dad taught me how to use that using drum machines.
Dude, side note, how did Dad figure out how to use the Roland MC50 and he can't use an iPhone? I had to explain to him how to use the damn iPhone. I'm like, you figured out the Roland MC50 in the 90s. Complicated as hell, and like you can't swipe up on the phone to close an app. I'm like, oh my god. Anyway.
Well, that was back when they made manuals.
I guess, dude. Yeah, it's true, right? You can't. It's like
They actually got full manuals, and he had that manual.
Oh my god. Anyway, so you go on. Sorry.
No, it's cool. Yeah, and so a couple of years into DJing, I was like, you know what, I want to start making tracks. Because DJing, you can only do so much. Spinning records. And as far as a DJ, like in the terms of DJing parties, I kind of suck because I didn't play I played what I wanted to hear, not
Yeah, you didn't play what the people wanted.
that good DJing. Like technically, I was a good DJ. I knew how to mix and scratch, but
Right.
I sucked in terms of being a successful DJ, catering to the crowd. I didn't understand.
Right. Yeah.
But I did. At some point, I kind of started to not even care for it because I was more concerned about making my own music. So
Yeah.
started buying equipment.
Dude, oh my god, that was like the best thing for me because after it was going, I could just go into your room and just like it was like a playland at that point. I was like 13 or 14 years old, and you had all that stuff like the sampler, the turntables, the speakers. Like, dude, it was yeah. That's like and then you had the 8-track reel to reel.
Well, see, I didn't have that. I remember you had that 4-track. That
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think Dad had bought you that, so I kind of
Oh yeah.
from you, and then and I incorporated that into what I had: the Akai S01, the Roland R5, and Mom's Yamaha DX100.
Oh, dude, the DX100. Oh my god.
Still works too.
What's that? Still works?
Still works, yeah.
Oh wow. I remember. Yeah, dude, I used to use that thing all the time. That's right.
Yeah, and then I remember I finally got my setup. I had reached out to Abdul. I don't know how I think I had what did I do? Oh, I think I saw him walking down.
You told me that you saw him in the street. You saw him doing like, dude, I saw his.
I was driving home. I saw him in the street right there by by our high school, by Silver Creek.
Yeah.
And then I yelled out. I was like, hey, Abdul, you need to come by. But it's the same school too, so it was easy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You didn't want to let me in the studio though at first.
Why was that?
I don't know, because I was your little brother, you know. And then I had all the guitar stuff. I started making my own beats, kind of, with my 4-track, and then all your friends would come over, like anybody that was like working in the studio would be like, "Yo, get your brother," and then like you just had to, you know, acquiesce to it. You had no choice.
Yeah, I remember those early days with that duel. I remember I was trying to make all these post Snoop Dogg Doggy style beats.
Yeah.
With like the
the G-Funk whistle. Yeah, oh yeah.
People laughing in the comments there.
Oh yeah, those were the days, the G-Funk whistle days, dude.
Oh my God, the synthesizer. Oh, God, that was the funniest shit.
Oh man. Oh shit.
Laugh, like, you know, I'd have something good going, and then those wannabe G-Funk parts would come in, and then he would just start shaking his head.
Oh yeah. I remember the first beat. I remember what it was. It was the orange juice beat. I made it on the 4-track. What's that? Yeah, it was Evans OJ when it turned into that. I just